Hello.
Hello.
Let's wait for some people to join. We still need to start in 1 minute.
Hello.
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 Okay. This is November 13th. How is that we have people that already attended if the people is not okay? Yeah, people is not here yet. Okay. Hello. So we have 6 persons in the meeting. That is good. I'm going to share the agenda in the chat.
May I add a topic to the agenda as well?
Yes, you may not have permissions. I will not be able to give you permissions. But if you have permissions, go ahead. Please do it.
Exactly. I know I don't have permissions, so I figured I'd add it at the end, I guess, if there's time.
Yeah, please post your stuff on the chat, and I'll copy everything to the agenda.
Super.
Perfect. People is joining. Hello, hello.
Hello.
No.
Sadly, you just missed the concert of Hunter x Hunter, so sorry about that. We have another person.
Hi.
Hello. Okay, who wanted to add something to the agenda? Because I have the agenda here with which I'm going to share right now, or I'm planning to. There you are. You should be able to see the agenda.
I just put my two ones.
Algo me procesor. This is going to be a really long discussion. Okay. So this is nothing against you, but this is related to people arriving. So it goes to the end. Max length. Oh, beautiful.
Thank you.
It is there. Going to add myself. Perfect. So shall we start? 3 minutes after the beginning. I think that is enough. We have 30 people in the meeting, so let's go. Welcome, everyone. This is being recorded, as usual, as you know, so please behave. Welcome to our community meeting number 68. Whoa, 68 meetings. And November 13, 2025. This is interesting. Probably for the next meeting, we should add how to upload using the Linux Foundation platform, which is something we need to investigate. Okay, first up, honestly, To avoid the issues like our friend Max just had of people not having access to the agenda notes, and following a previous meeting, I have created um, an issue in the governance that is here. If the connections allow me to go faster, that is this one that I'm going to share in the chat. Where is the chat? Here is the chat. Also, I'm going to add into the notes, the Google Notes. If I can fix this, that I can know. Sorry, I'm really useless managing computers. There you are. For everyone, you can see this is the idea of changing this stuff. Okay. The vote passed 2 days ago. Thank you. Now it means more work. But I'm going to give everyone a little brief. Turns out that has just like Max already had this issue of adding stuff to the agenda. The next step will be hopefully the next meeting, community meeting. It will follow this system from the notes.cncf.io. That is the foundation provides this based on CodeMD, which is a really nice system to have the community agenda. See, I already created this example. If someone wants to take a look and will love to see how it works, it has all the meetings since this year. The idea is this was approved, which is already has been approved. We are going to add all the years that we have. It takes some time because we cannot create so big files here, but it's going to be easy. We will be moving everything, have one per year. Okay, the only thing that you will require at some point is log into the CNCF with your Linux Foundation account, and just go and edit this kind of files. Okay, in the future, this is going will come with an update on the README of the organization of GitHub and a README on CloudNativePG, the project. Okay, so everyone will not get lost because that is one of the things we need to follow for the incubation process. Okay, so again, Jonathan G will create the PRs to update the README files. Jonathan G will migrate the community agenda previous years to the new system. Sorry. Okay, so we start with everything really fun. A pull request, reducing provisional time from Carlos Perez. Let's see. This is going to be interesting. Execute TP init parallel. Carlos, I see you're in the meeting because I saw your image and I saw you here. Hello. So please go ahead, explain.
Yeah, hello everyone. So yeah, I recently opened this pull request. Let me maybe provide some context on this. As you may know or not know, like we at Zeta use CMPG, and one of the things we are very keen is on being able to provision a Postgres cluster as fast as possible. This is something both we and our users really appreciate. So I have been checking on ways to improve the current provision times, let's say. So I have been started checking, reviewing the code across the board and see where are opportunities to reduce the time it takes to get a connection string that works since the moment you request a new cluster to be provisioned. So one of the things I did is open this pull request, and the idea is that when we provision a cluster and run the initdb, we do this for the Postgres database, and then for the template database, we do this sequentially, and there was an opportunity to do this in parallel. So I open this, I will say small pull request to parallelize this. But I wanted feedback not only on the pull request, but on the general theme. It is my first contribution, so I wonder what's the best approach to basically approach this theme. If there is interest or appetite for this discussion, if there is someone that will enjoy talking about it or discussing it with me, we are definitely interested in this topic. And yeah, what will be the best way for me to contribute more on this area? I was thinking, I basically review some things here and there and try to do small improvements that, overall add up on reducing these times.
The first things and observation here is it will be nice to have an issue with explaining exactly what you already explained it, because not all the maintainers are here. It will be nice that, and also this will require a way to be tested, because what you are actually doing is a nice idea. Obviously, because it will improve the time if you are having a really big post in it that may take a couple of minutes, and probably the template one is going to take less than a couple of minutes, probably a couple of probably whatever time it will take. It's going to be faster, obviously. But you are doing something that is really, it can be really, really special here. These kind of executions, when you throw a for that is going to create a couple of code functions, if you don't have a way to trace them, or you don't have a way to control them in somehow, this could be really dangerous, because in memory consumption, CPU consumption, and you can probably be leaking something here. So you require a test for this for sure. That is the first step and the issue. The idea, it sounds to me like a really good idea, especially because I already had some experience this morning with someone that asked me exactly the same, not even related, even it was related to other stuff, totally different, but executing both things in parallel. It was kind of curious. From another person that is even not related to the CNPG. It's just Postgres related stuff.
Nice.
Okay, so yeah, but you are missing please the issue. It's really important to read the explication, how we can confirm that. Probably a test. It would be nice to have a test that can confirm that both stuff were actually executing in parallel. How to do that? It could be like really tricky, but the simple step to do that is record the actions in the time of when the action was executed. Probably will be in the same second, not in the same microsecond, but in the same second, at least. It will test that it was executed or something like that. Probably you can put two queries that will sleep for until determined defined time, since the test was started, 5 minutes later, 1 minute later, and they both will start and execute something at the same time, and you will know that it was in parallel, something like that. To test. You sometimes need to be creative. But yeah, you're requiring the test here because these kind of things can be really, really tricky.
I think this is also, like, as it is written now, it's a bit unsafe because it parallelizes template 0 and template 1 initialization, which...
What happens if these tasks are not really independent?
I was going to say
So
that.
it sounds
Exactly.
like it could be really varying semantics on this.
At minimum, you need to preserve the existing behavior, because some customers could rely on subsequent execution.
I thought about that, yeah. Because in theory you can define different sequels per database, but maybe not everyone is doing that, right? Maybe they count on, they depend on each other, basically.
So on the sign, this is a breaking change. So we need to preserve at least the previous behavior. On top of that, I think we should have a discussion So open an issue, I would say, describing the problem, and we can move from there.
You mean the general problem on provision times or for this specific?
Like Jonathan was saying, what problem you are encountering and the solution that you are offering.
Okay.
So we can keep track of the discussion on GitHub and then move from there.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I will do that. Happy to.
Yeah.
On the general topic, because this is one of the small changes you can do, but I understand that on the general topic of provision times, there are many things you can do, and it's
Okay.
like small improvements here and there. What should I do about that? How I
I'm going to give you a pro tip on how to do that stuff. Okay. Look, when one of the things that our friends at GitHub implemented a couple of time ago is exactly to solve this kind of issues. When you have something that is bigger and you want to solve a couple of issues in the middle, like we all know in Kanban is known as an epic or something like that, or someone will put some different names, whatever. It's like a macro issue. Okay. You usually will have that issue. So probably what we can to work on this, what you can do is actually create an issue that is going to have the definition, like I'm showing here in the screen, and you will have sub issues related to that. So you start a discussion with the general idea. When you say your general idea, I understand where you're going. So probably what you are trying to solve is more than just this. And all these are going to be a list of issues related to solve just one idea. What you can actually do is create one issue, explaining everything in general, and then you create probably you can create a list of stuff, and then you can create issues that are related, like this one, okay? Or one of them, all of them were related and assigned to me, but that is nothing to do with the explanation. This is, and you can have something and we can assign it as epic too, okay? So that's why it's important, the issue, because if someone just arrive and see the pull request you created and it's not related to anything, it's going to be a problem to actually fully understand the big idea you have in your mind, okay? Which it could be a really, really, really amazing idea, but if it's not explained, no one will get it, okay? So
yeah, sounds great, I will start with that.
yeah.
Then for any individual pull request, does it make sense to come to this meeting to discuss them, or how should I approach that?
Exactly for that kind of features, it makes a lot of sense to discuss. So not just you, but everyone attending the meeting will, for example, learn that they can do this. If they want to solve only more than one issue at the time, but all of them are related, you can have this macro stuff. You can have a discussion, for example, how to follow, how to proceed, a discussion from the code. Just like Maxime just did, they can give you an opinion on probably some safe managing code stuff, or probably it's better, or quick reviews. It's always dynamic and it can help everyone on this, okay? This is for kind of things of the destiny. This changed and has been mutating between community and development. At some point, probably we'll have a meeting only for development. We don't know yet, hasn't been required, but it could be in the future if someone proposes, okay? But yeah, please bring everything if you have something and we will discuss it because it is for that.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you. I think I got all the
Okay.
pointers. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And anyway, if you need more guidance, we are on the Slack, okay?
Okay, perfect.
Okay, let's move forward.
Oh, I just
Simon.
have a point for Carlos. Whenever
Yeah,
you
go.
propose a PR, this is great, by the way, but just ensure that the existing behavior is preserved.
Okay, yeah,
In
yeah,
this
yeah,
case,
yeah.
you already spotted it by yourself that unfortunately in some cases this couldn't work. Okay, so we have our API is V1 and we cannot change the meaning of what's there. So yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah, just a general point.
Yeah.
Before looking at the actual implementation and just about the meaning of what you're doing.
Okay.
Semantics, I see. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really important, but also it's important to have to discuss, okay? Because everything can be discussed always and should be discussed. Okay, next one. Simona, add tracking of the last successful archive WOL file timestamp to the object store status and expose it to a Prometheus metric. See, that is totally different when someone says losing time to a full explanation. Okay, that is a good introduction. Let's see. Simona, I see you on the conversation. Let's see. I think Leonardo, you saw something on this, right?
I also have an issue open for it, but it's referred into the PR.
Okay,
Oh my
so
gosh.
I have just a few points here. The first point is I feel that you need it, it's fine. But I feel that if you target the API server every time you archive a wall or so frequently, we could pose too much workload on it. So I think this is fine, in my opinion, as a Prometheus metric. Why not? I'm not quite sure that this is fine as a new field in this object, in this custom resource actor. I don't know the point of view of other people here, but this is just my gut feeling.
I agree.
But then the recovery window is not really a recovery window, is it? It's just some points in time when you took backup. So it's not really like if you want to offer the possibility of restore, you cannot just say, okay, I'll go ask the object store. It will give me the recovery window and I can use that.
Okay, so what you are meaning here is that you could have taken a backup and you don't have all the walls needed to restore it. Did I got it?
No, if you do point in time restore, you take the last backup and then you apply some walls on top of that, right? The
Yeah.
last available,
Yeah.
the most recent backup, and so the object store has this field in the status called the recoverability window or restore window, something like that. And then in my mind, the restore window is, all the window that you can use to pick a point in the point in time and restore to that. But if you only put in the status the points where you have full backups, that's not really window. That's just separate points, and then from the last backup that you have like from the last backup to the last wall that was archived, you still have a window that you're lacking. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you say we only get the lower bound of this window, but you don't have the higher bound.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Yes, I got it. Both.
The change in the make file I only did because the default was 1.6, but if you look at the generated files, they have 1.19. So it was just, I think it needs to be done even if in a separate file, if not.
Well, I know this is debatable, but I would approximate the higher bound of the recovery window with the later, say, the current timestamp. I know this is an approximation, especially with systems that they don't have so much workload. This is not true.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
know, but I still would avoid to hit the API server so frequently. Again, this is just my point of view. I'll let the other guys speak. This is just me. I'm not the ultimate authority on that, absolutely.
Let me create this issue because I just find out that we are not updating the controller runtime properly.
Meanwhile, I mean, we have users that produce no full amount of wall files and have multiple clusters. So if every single one of them would hit the API server, that would be a lot of load. So yeah, I sort of agree with Leonardo. Like,
may I ask a question? Where is this? Oh, sorry, Jonathan. Oh, we're raising hands. Sorry, Jonathan, you were first.
Yeah, sorry, I was just thinking that maybe we could add this functionality to get the upper bound of the wall files in the CMPG status command?
It is already, I think it was already added to the status command, but it's not something that it can be used programmatically. So this is not something that, like a person goes and does the command and then does the restore. It's like you need to kind of access it programmatically in a way.
But when you restore, you do it manually, not programmatically.
So the plan is to have an API that an external customer can just call and select a time from the window that we provide, which is up to the last archived wall, and then we restore it for them. So no manual intervention would be needed.
Can we have both? I mean, if we find a way to avoid updating it so frequently, it could be fun. It could be useful. I know that, but hitting the API server so frequently, it scares me a bit.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe not update it after every single wall restore. After every single wall upload, but every 5 minutes or something like this, something that you can configure, updating the number every.
This could be better, but it is still an approximation. It's not the real data you need.
Yeah, it's eventual consistent.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Gulchin, you have your hands up.
Yes,
please.
so I just wanted to give a bit of context because maybe people in the call don't know why we come up with these ideas. The thing is that we are a database company, basically providing database to many people and using CMPG, and these requirements literally coming from the product requirements and customers and stuff. So I was thinking the same with the other, what Carlos presented as well, that creating a cluster and lowering the provision time is really crucial. Let's say people are using PR life cycle and they want to create database branching. That's what we do in Zeta. And they don't want to add too much time to their workflows and pipelines. So every second counts. And so we are trying to find ways to optimize this. So that's why that was the first thing I wanted to say. And the second thing for Simona, I don't know, maybe the approach could be changed, but also this is something that's coming from a real use case that we want to provide a better restore point, basically.
Yeah. Totally agree.
That's
It's a reasonable question to ask. Why not?
Yeah.
This is the kind of things that require a lot of discussions. I don't think the idea is bad, actually. I think it's really good. You're missing pointers here, by the way. That's why the first things it will be to start the discussion here in the issue. If people can start adding the points here, will be really good. By experience and what I've seen this many times, and a long time ago in version 1.11 or 1.10, or 1.12. I'm talking about CMPG history, by the way. Why we have this argument? Why it has been repeated? We screw up with the API server and we start to send too many updates to the API that was killing Kubernetes. So this is my experience, okay? And when we are talking about archiving WAR files, probably this is the kind of thing that is not going to be seen on the test really easy, because the test will say, okay, we are going to archive a file, and that will happen every 2 minutes, every 1 minute, but sometimes people will be archiving every 5 seconds. Okay, so that's why it's really important. But please, let's keep this conversation really open, because it's an issue that may affect a lot of people, and it would be nice if we can have more discussion here in the issue. Okay, because for a lot of people, it's also not attending the community meetings, but it's good that we will talk about this. Okay, and I'm pretty sure that this is going to be a really good improvement for a lot of people.
Yes, I'd like to have it.
Yeah, but hitting the API server is for sure that actually that time a couple of years ago killed some user clusters. Okay, please keep the discussion. If you have some point, Maxime, Leonardo, Armando, please notice here and give your points on the issue. It will be amazing. Let's move on because we are in half of the hour of the meeting and we have more issues to talk about. If you have something else, we can add it in the next community meeting, okay? Maxime has a couple of issues here, a couple of things. Taking backup as part of major version upgrade. Okay, the generally expected that new replicas come up using the latest backup as a source of initialization. Currently, post-upgrade replicas start with no usable backup available. Yeah. Wait, that was kidding me. Taking backup post-upgrade will speed up replicas start significantly if cluster backup method is following a snapshot. That is actually really true. Probably idea for much mechanism implementation might up with reconciler. Currently takes over cluster reconciler until the PG upgrade job is done. It will Okay, Maxim, I leave the word to you because clearly you have a better idea what you're talking about. Go ahead.
So this issue is similar, like the link to the issue is similar to the problem which we had, but that particular issue is proposing something different. They're proposing like a, as I understand, forcing a volume snapshot as a flag. But to me, it should be just unconditional backup as part of the process using the backup configuration already set in a cluster. Simply because one of the reasons I said is because the replica will come up quicker if the volume snapshot is the method, and also like in general as a cluster operator, once I configure the backup, any replicas coming up, my expectation is that they will use the backup configured backup method. Right now, it is falling back to PG-based backup, which for larger databases is slow and overall surprising, right? So before, like, I'm writing a code like implementation for this, but I would like to discuss with maintainers, first of all, if unconditional backup is what you like to see, or it needs to be like a flag which we enable somehow and like opt-in. And the second is like how to actually implement this, because right now major upgrade is basically taking over reconciliation loop for the job, but then to do the backup we need to go back into the normal reconciliation loop, bring master, but then hold off creating replicas and like stuff like this. So the normal reconciliation loop somehow needs to know that, oh, we are not in normal state. We need to do something differently and wait for the backup object to be completed before proceeding with replicas. So these are two my questions to the maintenance. Larger on a high level, let's start with high level. Do you see it as a conditional, as an optional feature, or unconditional backup as part of the upgrade?
To have it optional and then promote it maybe later on as a default mechanic that you always take the backup. But I would start off with being opt-in, so it's optional. So you need to have a flag on your specification to do this new behavior. On doing that, I think the easiest way to implement this feature would be not hack the reconciliation loop, but modify the specification to act like we want to. I will explain myself. I would scale down the replicas, for example, from 3 to 1, so you don't have to hack further the reconciliation loop, because no replicas will be created anyway. So I will then save the backup name that will be created. And once it will be completed, I will rescale the cluster from the specification. So in this way, I will not hold off the creation of the replicas, because the replicas will be fun. So it will be
if we modify cluster, if we modify cluster and the operator crashes, where do we recover original
You can save
cluster
the state, the
configuration.
temporary state inside the cluster status. You can save the temporary state to keep track of this operation.
So why don't you save intended like a backup we're waiting for, and recognize it as a, or if that we're waiting for the backup as part of upgrade, like a post-upgrade backup.
I understand the question. It's a good one. Because if we act this way, then you have to inject new logic in the reconciliation loop. But if we scale it to 1, we avoid adding new conditional logic to the reconciliation loop.
But scaling to 1 means that reconciliation loop needs to be alive. It needs to bring up that first instance anyway.
Yes. Before starting the upgrade process, we will downgrade the replicas, I think, at this point.
Oh, I see.
Okay, I think this would simplify a lot the whole approach. What do you think? I think I'm not saying this is the absolute truth. I'm just throwing ideas, okay?
But it still would be part of reconciliation loop hacking, as you put it, because
yes, but you could have a single point of responsibility instead of giving the logic spread around. Because if you want to interrupt the scale up when you have 3 replicas and you need to say, don't create these replicas or hold off, you need to modify a lot of pieces of code around. But if you have a central logic that scales first to 1 and then rescales to 3, you can handle the logic in a single place, I think.
I see. Okay.
This is an idea, okay?
It makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense. Okay. I'll have a look.
I think we can
thank you.
explore this direction, but I would love feedback from other maintainers. Again, it's just an idea to approach the problem in a way that is simple and scalable for the whole code base.
To me, it sounded like when normal reconciliation goes like reconciles the cluster state, right? It already has a logic that it needs to bring up master first, right? It doesn't create replica until master is ready. So there is already like a sequence of actions, and I thought that just have a inject my logic after the master is up, but until the rest is executed. So it will still be a single place, not spread around.
No, I agree, but this way of doing things, which we have done in the past, I think it's way more complex to maintain because it aggregates a lot of condition on top of other condition. The latest features we developed, usually we had a very segregate package that controls the feature.
I see. So there is a package for major upgrade, and you see which takes over whole reconciliation loop.
The major upgrade, it's a bit more complex, but for this specific topic, yes, we will add a major upgrade package extension that controls this specific logic, yes.
So backups as part of major upgrade package.
Let's say you have a package. I think we can then talk async to on Slack. I don't want to.
Okay.
But I think we can discuss further. I think we can make a chat with the other maintainers too and discuss. Everyone can throw ideas.
It's better if we keep this on the public issue, please, because there's a lot of people already having this discussion here. And it would be great to have public. Okay.
I just
437.
a few points here, just about, let's say, historical point. We always wanted to have something like a replica bootstrap method to be chosen between PG-based backup or restore from a backup, whatever the backup is, if they are snapshots or Barman or a plugin. And this is our idea on how we wanted to implement that. But unfortunately, because of other priorities and time missing, most importantly, we didn't do it. But I think you may expect in the future, as you choose a bootstrap method for a new cluster, that you may be able to choose a bootstrap method for replicas. So the user could choose between using a backup, a volume snapshot, or a plugin-based backup, or just using PG-based backup, which is unfortunately not so performant. because you have to download everything.
Yeah. So the way I understand you is that you envision in the future when there is new configuration for the replica bootstrap will be present. That backup, let's say if the bootstrap method specifies backup, that backup will be taken on demand the moment replica is up. The moment replica the moment we requested replica to be up.
Yes.
Is it what you?
Yes, exactly. This is what I envision. I don't know if we will be able to do it. Another really interesting thing is PVC cloning. That would be really useful to bootstrap new replicas or volume group snapshots. But yeah, this is out of topic in this discussion. It's just to share with you what it is on our mind.
But it's a good idea to keep the discussion. That's why keeping the discussion on the issue probably will create another issue, another set of issues. That will be great. Okay, let's move forward because we have 20 minutes left. Daniel, and this one is good coming from Daniel because he was able to finally track a lot of stuff. And with Marcon and Cherini, they found out the issue of the memory usage. So, Daniel, please.
Yes, I had a longer running backup session overnight, and it's increasing to, let's say, 2-something gigabytes. So if it's a long running backups with a lot of WAL files, it continues to grow up, but not as much as before. I updated the issue with the latest screenshot.
Yeah, so actually, this was a problem with not the memory of the plugin process, but the memory of the container. Did I get it?
It was the memory of the sidecar, yes.
Okay.
So the cycle continued to grow up, but not that much, but it's still going
Yeah,
up.
it was around 8 gigabytes before, and now it's
Yeah, I mean,
2.5 something.
it's a plugin, it's a small Go application, and 2.74
No,
gigabyte is
no,
still a
no.
lot.
We are not talking here about the process. We are talking about the container. So we need to include Barman and the cache, the operating system cache used by Barman. This is the main topic, I guess. So it's not the Go process.
Yeah, that is the container. And it's let me finish. And there's a lot of things running there. So I mean, it's a move forward. Okay, it's better than before. Or not, Daniel?
Yeah, I don't have all the time like thousands of WAL files to be backed up at the same time. So for production should be fine. Long run, I think we should get the memory footprint down somehow.
Okay.
Thank you for this effort. It is great.
If you can keep running, please do it so we can have more data. But clearly this why is this pull request now is empty?
Because
this is the plugin. No, this is the plugin Barman Cloud. No, yeah. No, the pull request is in the Barman Cloud. By the way, Wulchin, Carlos, probably this is also affecting you because you were talking, Simona, you were talking about this backup stuff. But this is the pull request that is interesting. So it is important to keep this in mind. So if more people help to test, it will be awesome. And obviously, as Leonardo already said, thank you, Daniel. It's been a really amazing investigation.
But
so move forward.
I believe this should be reported to the Barman project. Because, okay, we are advising the operating system that this file will not be used anymore, but perhaps this should be done by Barman Cloud. Again, just my 2 cents.
Yeah, probably.
Because if we fix Barman Cloud, the fix will many people will benefit from them and not just CloudNativePG users.
Let's do that right away. I don't know what is the handle of Martin. Of Julio. Okay, I'll ping them and contact them to take a look on this. Jonathan G. will reach out department about this issue and probably advise that this could be handled at Barman Cloud. Okay, perfect. Let's move forward. Daniel, again, okay, yes, again, you please explain. Sorry,
Yes. This is the pull request I created for the monitoring setup in the playground. It's Prometheus and Grafana. I took your old pull request and make it multi-regional. Now the question for me is, I put all the README, all the how-to inside the main README, and if it's like blowing up the README, and if we shouldn't add like a contrib folder for additional stuff, not everybody has to do.
In my opinion, the README is okay. Because we haven't split anything, any other documentation, and at some point probably we will have to start splitting the README in some more structured documentation, put the setting up the environment, the connection starting something else, the cleaning up at the end of the documentation, the demo is in a different chapter. So for now, the README is okay. If you want to offer yourself to create documentation, proper structured documentation for this, please go ahead. We may need it. Probably even Jeremy will be really interested in doing that. So yeah, definitely, please makes a lot of sense to me. Okay. Yeah, please. And then probably we can add something that people will be adding to the playground and we add section and that would be amazing too. But for now, the README is enough. By the way, which help a lot when you are explaining the playground, because everything is in the one side, not well structured, but it's there at least. Everything together. So thank you, and go ahead, and when you finish, please let me know so I can run the test, because I already have a battery of tests for this. Okay. Thank you. Now, because every meeting has a controversial discussion, Max, you have the word here, please.
Fantastic. Yeah, I joined last week as well. Oh, last 2 weeks ago for the meeting to discuss this, and I got some good pointers, and I'll be quick to not waste time. We have a requirement to support rollback of major Postgres version. We know that it's wrong, incorrect in every sense. It's frowned upon, but yeah, that's the request that we have. And me and my colleague Gerrit here is representing Ericsson. We need to sort of look into the ways to get this working. And I created a POC, which seems to work, but it requires the operator to, of course, change the image, because currently there's a version check to see or prohibit you from downgrading. And I created a POC which supports downgrade with a plugin. So my theory is that if I created 2 feature requests for both of these topics, that we make it conditional with this version check in the operator. So if we have a plugin that has a capability to either we use labels or we use the capabilities logic in the CMPG-I, and if a plugin has opted in for this new behavior, we allow the image path to be patched. Yes, and then I answered your question, Jonathan, in the feature request as well, regarding how the plugin can work to make this work. I'm not sure if that's should be part of the pitch or not, but for the holistic view, maybe it would be interesting then. the fourth one from the top.
Yeah, now I remembered. Yeah. Okay, this is going to be something because, as you already pointed out, Postgres doesn't support downgrade for many reasons.
Exactly.
The process I have for session is probably will be requesting my version. No, to one, the name is already open. This is open to let's type it. Let me attach this to the documentation, please. So,
In summary, it deploys the lower version of Postgres. So we go from 17 to 16. It spins up a PG16 cluster and restores the data from the PG17 one.
so what I get is that in some, okay, first of all, not supporting the downgrade at Postgres levels, like a next step if you want to downgrade, right?
Exactly. I mean, I need it to work only by updating the cluster spec, essentially. This one, yeah.
This is not going to be quite easy. Okay, but this pull request is just to allow the operator to change the image.
Yes, exactly. The plugin, I think, is because it is like we all know, risky and frowned upon. The all responsibility of this lies in the plugin developer's responsibility. So for us, it will be Ericsson that develops our own plugin that we deploy and sort of opt into this.
Wow. I don't know. Leo, Armando, Francesco, I think you have a lot of experience on the upgrade stuff, right?
Yeah, on the upgrade, not on the downgrade. But we went through this a couple of meetings ago, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
so-
there's a couple of things here to keep in mind. The first one, more than if it's Postgres allow the upgrade or not, is more like how people work and think. When you start to allow this kind of things, it could be that people will think, oh, now Postgres support downgrades. That could be the first thought, because when you see, okay, allowing major downgrade is, so Postgres support downgrades, which is not true. Okay, there's many reasons for that. Now, the downgrade process is not supported for a lot of reasons you already mentioned. Okay, for example, the catalog. You cannot downgrade the catalog that easy. It's not supported. So your downgrade will be like if the upgrade fails. That is the idea, or the downgrade will be after a couple of hours or days that has been running, you downgrade. Because in that case, you will for sure need to apply a backup. Because if after some days, for example, you change something in the database from version, I don't know, 17 to 18, from 18 to 19, and the catalog will change, that for sure. And when that happens, in a couple of days, someone will be running and using a new type or function that was added in Postgres 19. They implemented this after a week and you want to downgrade, and it will be like, oh, you cannot downgrade, because how are you going to replace the data in that function? So this is the kind of thing you actually need to be really careful when you talk about them, and the kind of decision you can make, because people will say, okay, I can downgrade. And that is not totally true. Okay, and enabling that kind of things.
Perhaps framing it could be wiser that I frame it, because it is a fresh deployment of the sort of lower version of the Postgres, and we restore data from a higher one. Of course, we need to modify the data to make it fit the PG16 stuff. And if someone has opted to, or for us, in our case, we have a certain Postgres range, let's say 16 to 18. And the feature set that our customers can use has to comply with the lowest supported version, so that we can remove things that
is exactly my point.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I know how it works. A lot of people will say, no, we comply with the minimum supported version. For example, we are complying with the version 13. The last release was today. Yeah, actually the last release is today. So as you can see, probably they say now we need to move the 14 version, and we have support with 14, and we have databases on 18. But that is actually could be misleading people to take bad decisions, because not every company will work like that. Sometimes when you're dealing with this kind of thing, it's not big companies. It's also people that have only one database and they will think that they can downgrade. So yeah, the first thing is to keep eye, but this is a really big issue, and I think it will require a long discussion on the issue. It's good that you bring it back. Probably we can contact some developers, process developers, and ask them what they think about this kind of process. There's some angle they can take for the downgrade or recommendations. It will not be a bad idea. In certain conditions, everything can be done in this case because of this. Probably could be something useful for a lot of people, probably no. But in this case, having the advice from Postgres developers will be really good. Because what do you know, probably in version 20, we are going to start having downgrade compatibility process. Who knows? Or it could be a good conversation to start talking about adding downgrade support into Postgres, modifying downgrade, modifying the catalog or stuff in the database. People used to go forward.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the right thing to do. For sure. So this is a unique telco environment that requires this for us.
Yeah, but please continue the discussion at some points. Probably if you can contact someone on the PostgreSQL hackers mailing list, it will be amazing. Without some points, do some research on the Postgres hackers mailing list about people already asking about this and the points that were raised and the situation. Probably this discussion hasn't been there for, who knows, a lot of time, and no one has talked again, and it's the right time to start talking again.
Yeah, exactly. And we have this solution with another operator already, but the thing is that we want to move and use you guys. So that's the but okay, but then you suggested I reach out to who exactly? I missed that.
The PostgreSQL hackers mailing list. Please, that it will be a really good starting point to see this. Okay. Okay, let's move forward because we have 3 minutes and I really want to talk about the next point. But yeah, Gellert, you were raising your hand.
I was raising my hand because I had a bit of. I heard your question about how is this used, or what's the use case for? Why is not a backup good enough? Restoring a backup. Basically, what they want is having an upgrade, and during the upgrade, data still can make it into the system, even though there are downtimes and the processes are spooling the data between. So it's supposed to keep the data, and the backup is from before the upgrade, which is better than nothing. But still, it would be nice to keep the data, because it is not just a few minutes an upgrade like this. It is usually a few hours at least.
Yeah, that is another valid point. Probably the downgrade to be right in the same place. So see, it's a whole discussion. It's not a strong no, but it's for certain some open to discussion. Okay, we have 2 minutes left, and we can. Sorry about that. We need to cover as much as we can. Sorry, we have the next community meeting in a couple of weeks. Please attend, and we can keep discussion. Anyway, 1 minute and something. First of all, 1.28 release candidate 1. Please help us test and find some issues like we did in the previous versions. So before we release the a final one, this is really important. Please, we would love to have it. Your feedback is always important. Like people like Daniel has been testing stuff like that. Even if we release, testing and going on the issues is important. Okay, please do it because we plan to release by the end of the month. Okay, the second one, we applied the incubation of the sandbox from the sandbox incubation to the CNCF. The application is not here. I'll put it on the agenda. Here, it's not that I have it in my bookmarks, obviously. Please raise your hand, add your story here. Everything helps us to move forward. We are doing all the required tasks for it. So please give your thumbs up. Everything helps, okay? Just like it did for the CNCF to get into the sandbox, it was useful. For the incubation, it's useful too. I have a couple of seconds yet. So the next one, in November 24th, next week, it's next week, right? Oh, in 1 week and a half, we will have the Leonardo and Jeremy will be giving the talk in a webinar in the same calendar that we have the community meetings and everything. We'll be giving the talk of the query-based consistency for cluster change with CloudNativePG operator. This talk is or is today at KubeCon, one version of it, but in November 24, we will have the full version with Leo and Jeremy, and that is amazing. So please attend. Tell everyone it's in the calendar. We will be publishing some stuff on Slack, so please attend. Okay, and with that being said, as usual, I'm going home with a lot of tasks to do, and I hope to see you in a couple of weeks. If I remember correctly, we should have the office hours. Yes, next week. So if you have any issue you want to talk about fixing clusters, please attend. And thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Sorry I took 1 minute more, but it is like that. I'm sorry. And see you next week on a couple of weeks. Okay.
Thank you.
Ciao,
Bye.
ciao.
Ciao,
Thank
ciao.
you,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right.